You been on a Scottish beach? Rubbish everywhere, shit all over the place, condoms. It's like taking a holiday in Amy Winehouse's muff. Winehouse looks filthy now, doesn't she? I reckon AIDS is worried about catching her. She's got a new boyfriend. He doesn't drink, doesn't take drugs. Unfortunately, he went down on her and he's now doing 3 weeks in rehab. Nudist beaches I've never really understood. I can't get my head around this whole idea that nudism's normal. If nudism's normal, how come I'm still banned from Euro Disney? Really tell me it's normal to watch your 12-year-old daughter play ping pong in the nude with a 56-year-old dentist who's returning the ball without a bat? It's the ugliness of the nudist, man. Don't get me wrong, if they all looked like models, I'd be down that beach with a wheelbarrow full of Kleenex and a heat pad on my wrist. They'd be wading back through the sand like it was fucking Scott's porridge oats. What I'm into myself sexually is leather. I say leather, I mean older women. Britain's oldest woman to give birth gave birth a couple of months ago. She was 63. Can't be easy getting up in the middle of the night, age 63, to change a soiled nappy. Especially now she's got a baby. I'm sure it was actually a magical moment. I'd have loved to have been there when her dust broke. I couldn't have sex with someone that old because they might die. They might die during sex. And I don't know that I could trust myself to stop. Have you seen that scientist who's put microchips into old people with dementia? So if they get lost, you can track them down with your sat-nav. Oh, there you are, Grandad. Trapped under the wheel arch. Found you. I think you should just do what we did with my granddad. Put him on a retractable leash. Sounds harsh, but he never got lost. Never fell over. Never had dementia, to be honest. Apparently, scientists have developed a genetically modified monkey. What they've done is they've injected jellyfish cells into a monkey so that it glows in the dark. And they reckon that one day this could help people who are terminally ill. What do they mean, one day? If I was terminally ill and someone gave me a glow-in-the-dark monkey, I would be fucking delighted. As I got ill and my hair fell out, I could shave the monkey and have glow-in-the-dark hair and a shaved monkey. The fuck am I talking about? Why am I still holding the monkey? Apart from anything else. Do you see this fertility clinic? There's a fertility clinic that raffled a human egg. Raffled a human egg. Surely life is hard enough growing up and finding out that you're adopted. Without growing up to find out your first prize in a raffle and your brother and sister are a box of dairy milk and a fucking goldfish. The world's oldest dog just turned 21. It's a dachshund, but it can't see, hear, or walk. That's not actually a dog, is it? That's a draft excluder that shits itself. I read this the other day. Have you heard this? There are certain types of cancer that women are more likely to get if they give blowjobs. And they're more likely to get those types of cancer the more cocks they suck. Now, you've never heard that, have you? And the reason you've never heard that is that men control the news. In other news, sucking cocks causes cancer. The weather, quickly, the weather. I think we got away with it. The Americans have still got that oil leak going on. They're going nuts, the Americans, aren't they? If Bush was still in charge, they'd have invaded the sea by now. And Britain would have joined in. They're looking for something that can be used to block a massive hole. I say, get down the Premier Travel Lodge and wake up fucking Lenny Henry. The Pope came out the other week. Well, the Pope didn't come out, right? That's the first thing, right? Still in fucking denial. Pope came out and said that condoms don't stop the spread of AIDS. Somebody should tell that fucker that he's putting them on wrong. To me, I was brought up as a Catholic and it just seems like a load of fucking nonsense. Catholicism to me seemed to be just a list of things that autistic people said thousands of years ago that happened to get taken seriously. On a Friday, you can only eat fish. Nothing but fish on a Friday. Brilliant, I'll write it down. I mean, I think back to priests when I was a wee boy. They had a kind of Asperger's quality to them. Like, you never met a witty priest. So I was doing an exorcism. I was telling the devil to get out of the boy, when the devil made the very good point that as a priest, I'd probably been inside more children than he had. Touché, Satan. There's a tragedy to male sexuality, isn't there? Like, women, don't let men tell you what's sexy, because men don't know. Belly button piercings aren't sexy. Men just think they are because it reminds them of the staple in a porno mag. The stuff men say, you know, I don't like it when women have their big period knickers on. Big grey knickers when they've got their period. You want them to wear sexy knickers when they've got their period? That'd be like hanging bunting in an abattoir. And while we're at it, for crotchless knickers, you really need the right sort of vagina. The wrong sort of vagina in crotchless knickers looks like a cannibal's Christmas decoration. Let's get rid of Brazilians as well. What was wrong with those big 1970s hairy bushes? Women who looked like they were giving birth to Emmanuel Adebayor. The tragedy of male sexuality is that we should be attracted to strong, confident women. That'd make us happier. And instead we know that broken, disillusioned women are going to be dirtier in bed. If you get on a first date with someone and they're going, I had a great relationship with my father, inside you're going, damn. My stepfather, on the other hand, back in the game. If you get a date with Elizabeth Fritzl, you're fucking that night. You could spice it up by in the middle going, who's your daddy? Men want to fuck teenagers, you know, but they lie about it. I couldn't fuck a teenager. What would you talk to them about afterwards? I don't know. How they're planning on getting home? Oh, you'd fuck a teenager, but what would you actually be left with? I'd be left with a videotape, motherfucker. They always say they want to cut down on teenage pregnancies, and yet, when I was a teacher, I tried to teach the sixth formers about anal. I got sacked. I say when I was a teacher, I was dressed as a teacher. That's what they should do, man. You want to cut down on teenage pregnancies? Send me round the schools. Show them what sex is like in your late 30s. I'll fucking put them off. Get one of the fifth formers over a desk and give her a brutal, loveless, perfunctory pumping. And in the middle, just for realism, I'll get my 2-year-old son to walk in and tell us both that he needs a poo. I've got 2 little kids now, 2 little kids, so I have a lot of sleepless nights, lying awake wishing that I'd come in their mum's tits. When I was a teenager, I was always terrified of the idea that one day I'd die. Now it's the only fucking thing that keeps me going. It's great, kids, actually. It's joyous, you know. One of the great things with kids is sometimes you're just in that kid mode and you'll say things that have never been said before. You don't even need to have the kids with you, particularly. I went to the supermarket recently. I didn't have the kids with me, but I was just in that mode. And I picked up the cheese and I went, hello, Mr. Cheese. And this guy beside me got really angry because he thought I was talking to him. And I had to turn to this guy and go, I wasn't talking to you, pal. I was talking to the cheese. What's your name, wee man? I'm going to fucking educate you here. What's your name? Johnny. How appropriate. Well, you know how at your age, Johnny, when you first start going out with someone, you've got to think of stuff during sex to put yourself off, to stop yourself from coming. Next time it might be this moment. Right? Truth is, when you're 37 like me, you've been out with someone for 7 years, you no longer have to think of stuff to stop yourself from coming. All you have to do is look down at your partner's face and see the faces of your own children. Wow, your cum face is exactly like the face the wee man pulls when he's hurt his knee. She knows it too. When she doesn't want sex, she comes to bed wearing Spider-Man pyjamas. We have quite an active sex life, actually. A lot of role play. She likes to dress up and pretend to be Catwoman, and I pretend that I love her. I'm trying to think if I've got any other advice for you. Yeah. Never let anyone ram a big Toblerone up your arse. And if they do, don't rip it out straight away. Wait for the corners to melt a bit. You know how when you go to the pet shop, there's always a moment, isn't there, when the pet shop owner looks at you thinking, he's going to stick that hamster up his arse. That's why you should always buy 2 hamsters. Might be able to eat their way through the carrot. Shall I tell you why I'm like what I'm like, Johnny? I think I can explain myself to you. When I was a wee boy, my granddad used to take me up into the loft. He'd take down a chest that he had up there. He'd open up the chest. Do you know what was in it? A mermaid. And he'd have me stripped naked as a wee boy and make love to that mermaid on the floor while he watched for his sexual gratification. Now, years later, when the old bastard was dead, I went back up into the loft. I took down the chest and opened up. Do you know what I found in there? A dead monkey with its legs sewn together. You remind me of that monkey, Johnny. It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. Take care of yourselves. I'll show you the life of the mind. And he'd have got off with it scot-free, and he'd have been sat in the prime ministerial debate, strangely distracted by a middle finger that stunk of freshly baked scones.